It's Throwback Week here at footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 8 preview between the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now let's look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Falcons.
When I look at the Falcons in this matchup, I look at their passing attack versus the Eagles secondary, and where they can have the advantage is on the interior, forcing those safeties to cover, forcing those outside linebackers to get proper depth on those routes. That's why Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Harry Douglas, and also Tony Gonzalez can have some success working the interior of the Eagles' pass defense. But when you look at left tackle Sam Baker, and he's going to be matched up versus Trent Cole, he's going to have to keep that pocket clean for Matt Ryan in order for these guys to have some success. But let's go inside the lab to see how that Falcons defense can keep Michael Vick bottled up in the pocket.
Let's look at how the Atlanta Falcons can win up front defensively versus the Philadelphia Eagles and Michael Vick, which is very tough because Vick is a mobile guy. He wants you to break contain, and they want you to break contain in the running game so they can run off tackle. Here's how the Falcons can play winning defense up front. Base set, tight end to the right, back in the backfield. And this is what the defensive ends have to do. They have to play through the middle, but keep an outside contain. Play through the middle, but keep an outside contain. And you want to make sure you get a bump on this tight end as you retain your gap integrity. This is his gap right here. So you want to make sure you get this bump. Don't allow him free release as he goes up the field. You're still maintaining outside contain. Play through here, but remaining outside contain. And once you get to a certain point, you want to replace the running back. You want to get right here and then flatten out. Right here, flatten out. Inside tackles pushing through the middle, but keeping contained in responsibility of their gaps. Pushing through, keeping contained. If you keep this boxed in, you allow yourself to be in better position to stop Michael Vick. But if you allow yourself to fly up the football field and get outside your gap integrity, guess what you just created? You just created a gaping hole for Michael Vick to beat this guy one-on-one if he steps up in a pocket, or if you're a defensive tackle and not keep contained, Vick can step up and shoot this gap here. But if the Falcons want to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, the defensive ends are going to have to squeeze, keep it boxed in, push versus pressure. Once they reach the point where they're replacing the running back, flatten out and keeping Vick bottled up in the pocket.
Now let's move over to the Philadelphia Eagles. New defensive coordinator Todd Bowles has his first task at hand in getting this pass rush jump started. The Eagles have a wealth of talent on that defensive line, guys like Jason Babin, Trent Cole, but those guys have to get sacks. They only have 7 sacks so far on the season. Now they do a sound job versus the run, but they have to get pressure on the QB. The one thing they also want to do defensively is put the Falcons in backed up situations. You want to win on first down, force the Falcons in third and long, second and long type of situations. But let's go inside the lab and look at that Eagles offense and see how they can solve their struggles in the red zone.
In order for the Philadelphia Eagles to have some success versus the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to have to win in the red zone where they've been struggling this season. And tight condensed sets helps the Eagles out in the red zone because it gives those playmakers, LaShawn McCoy, Brent Selleck, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, those speed guys, saying Selleck, but those guys a better chance at outbreaking routes to get to the end zone. And you see right here, we have this condensed. This is why I drew up the hash marks in the end zone. So let's say this is Deshaun Jackson. Say you want to bring him in motion across the formation, bring him back, and at pre-snap, you snapping the ball right here as he's in between the legs of the tight end, and you're running this out route right here, and you have Brent Selleck going to the flag. You have your back right there as you're blocking, fake, boom. Now you have Vick attacking the line of scrimmage, and you give him a two-way go, 1, 2. But even if he completes the pass right here, Deshaun Jackson has this much room to run. If he throws it up here to Brent Selleck, he has this much room to operate. So it's all about keeping condensed formations in the red zone and helping the Eagles get the football into their playmakers' hands quickly. That way they have more room to run. Let's say he wants to operate weak side. Condensed formation, 6-yard split right here. Why? Because we're going to run an out-breaking route. Turn that speed out, dump the football out quickly. Jackson or Macklin can shoot up the field after that and get to the end zone. The Eagles have a lot of speed. They just have to utilize it better in the red zone, and I think condensed formations can help these guys do that this week versus Atlanta.
The Falcons' defensive ends are clearly the X factor in this ballgame, as they can't get out of position versus Michael Vick. Keep him bottled up. You give yourself a great chance to win this ballgame. The Eagles' X factor has to be their secondary. They can't be a detriment to team success. Yes, they need help from their defensive line, but they will have to match up versus those Falcons wide receivers. Now let's look at the personnel breakdown in this matchup. You see it's an even battle through and through. Both teams have excellent personnel. The one weakness I see for the Eagles has to be the offensive line. They got to keep that pesky Falcons defensive front out of the backfield and keep Michael Vick clean in order for this offense to take flight. I like the Eagles in this ball game. What I like most about Philadelphia is their ability to run the football, and I think coming off a bye week, they will get back to basics, running the football off tackle, forcing those defensive ends to be run defenders, and I think that's how they beat the Atlanta Falcons. I also want to give a huge shout out to Eagle fan forums and Falcon fan forums for always showing football game plan support.